As I said before, I'm Suzanne Kellner Zinck from Dawning Vision's Hypnosis, Inc. Let me explain to you a little bit how I got into hypnosis, because a lot of people go into therapy and they go into coaching, and I could have done coaching or therapy, but I had an interesting history, basically. What happened in my case was that I actually was diagnosed with manic depression, bipolar 2, back in 1989 or thereabouts. And although I was very lucky to get some very good care after a little while, I had a problem with a psychiatrist, actually two psychiatrists, one who thought I had seasonal affective disorder. I wasn't really being treated in the way that the case manager wanted me to, so she took me out of her care and put me into another psychiatrist's care, which was lovely, except that I was so over-medicated on lithium, which is a very tricky drug to go on because the treatment level is very close to where it can cause some poisoning for your system, and that's actually what happened to me. The numbers look beautiful, and my nails are ruined forever as a result of it, and thank God that happened because my kidneys could have shut down and I could have been in a much more difficult problem. And this was because this woman would not listen to me and hear me out and say, I cannot do anything, I'm totally over-medicated. I had to get my husband in there to talk on my behalf because, you know, he didn't have the problem, so of course he was able to talk about my problem, right? What was going on in my body. So, in any case, that was a difficulty there. Then I got into working with people with mental health issues a few years later, and I saw that they were being very much blamed for not being able to do the things that they ought to be able to not do given their diagnosis. Schizophrenics are not necessarily known for being organized people and being able to keep themselves in their areas clean. Right, Joel? They have an issue with this, so we're there to help them, and I had bosses who were telling me, no, you cannot help them, you tell them what to do. Well, telling them what to do is not going to get them to do what they need to do, by any chance. He is shaking his head no. So, what happened ultimately was I found hypnosis as a way to help my clients to be able to get the care that they desired and that they deserved, because I knew from my own process that I was in college at the time, I was studying nursing. I was in a happy marriage at that time, and my life was going pretty well because I knew what I needed, and I knew that my clients knew what they needed inside themselves. If someone would just listen and drive the magnificence out of them and what was going on inside their mind and help them to get rid of the programming, if you will, that was creating the problems and get them to a point where they could understand how to better live in their lives and get better strategies for themselves. And as a result of that, I don't know, for whatever reason, I've been working with sex addicts, drug addicts, and anorexics and bulimics. These are some of the most difficult cases that you could work with ever because you're dealing with anxiety and depression as well as their addictions on top of it all. So I'm really glad that on my Dawning Vision's Hypnosis website, I have beautiful testimonials. My clients really do make it look like I walk on water, but I have to tell you this. As I was taught by my very first mentor, I take no credit for work they did. They had to go through it, they had to look in the mirror, they had to do it all. I facilitated it, and as a result, my great majority of these folks are doing fine, even 10, 11, 12 years later. So this is what hypnosis can do. And that's what I got into it. And as a result of getting into it, I went through a really huge, it was like a week-long intensive where I let go of the manic depression in 5 minutes using something called timeline therapy. And I've been med-free, psychiatrist-free since 2004, 2005. Respectfully, do the math, it's a very long time. And even she had agreed that I didn't have this problem any longer. So she was very grateful to learn something new that she didn't learn in school. So what I'd like to do now is talk a little bit about what hypnosis actually is. I'd like to find out from the group, how many of you have ever been hypnotized? Just hands up. What I'd like you to really understand is that it is a state that you are in and out of every single day, all day long. You all go through it. When you're daydreaming, when you wake up in the morning and it's sort of like, don't bother me. When you go to sleep at night, don't bother me. When you are watching TV, if you are playing video games, if you are in a movie and you're suspending what we call reality, this is all hypnotic states. We use this very natural state to help you to release those things that are creating problems for yourself so that you can get on with your lives and do the things that you really want to do. And it's very fast and it's very effective. And they're learning more about the biophysiology of it now in terms of how it works. And though I keep reading it, I get things a little confused. But I can tell you that they are starting to understand that there is a disconnect that happens when you're in this altered state called hypnosis. We're bypassing the critical faculty of the conscious mind, where you have all your reasoning, where you have all your rationalization, where you have all your judgments, which is why people think badly about the people around them sometimes, and themselves even worse. That's depression sometimes and anger issues come from. And we get to the point where they are just able to see the issues for what they are. They don't judge it, they don't reason through it, and they don't rationalize it. And that makes it a lot easier for us to actually do the work that we need to do, because they don't have all these defense mechanisms. Now, I take it kind of a step further than that. I really work in the higher consciousness. And the reason I do that is because the unconscious mind is really your defense mechanism. It is why you do the things that you don't want to do and why you're not doing the things that you do want to do. So how do we deal with this? Carl Jung, for all of you who studied a little psychology, understand about the collective unconscious. What is this? This is your connection to the divine. All that is, all that will be. By bringing people up to their superconscious, it's simple to do because they're already in trance. It's just a suggestion to put them there. They bring in their divine, whatever they call it. God, universe, doesn't matter to me. Whatever works for them is great. And what we can do is we can get the unconscious mind out of the way enough so that we can actually get them to release their problems. Now, many hypnotists don't do it this way, but that's the way I was trained to do it, and it works really well. NeuroLinguistic Programming is another thing that I do, and it's a form of hypnosis because, again, we're bypassing the critical faculty of the conscious mind to go into the unconscious. So some NLP people say it's not hypnosis. Well, I tell them to go back to school because it truly is. And we do it in a waking state, and it works really well to clear things very quickly. But for the deeper things, when we're dealing with inner child work and when I'm dealing with really losses and grievances and really painful stuff, it's much better to go into the deeper trance states to help people to release the things from the higher consciousness. This is the way it works the best. But you can cut through a lot of time by using neurolinguistic programming and this other thing I call timeline therapy, which I use to get rid of negative emotions and limiting beliefs very quickly and effectively. So if you were to go to therapy, you could talk for hours about what's wrong. I can wipe that stuff out in a matter of, 2 to 5, 10 minutes if it's really horrible. Gone. It's amazing. Tad James gets the credit for that. Now, what I would like to do is I'd like to do something to show you all how this all might work for yourself. So what I'd like you to do is play with me a little bit. All right, so get up on your feet. We're going to have a good time here. And what I want you to do is I want you to close your eyes. And what I want you to do is I want you to put one hand with your palm down and one hand with your palm up. All right? And what I want you to do is I want you to imagine in the hand where your palm is up, I want you to imagine you are holding a bunch of dictionaries. And they're very, very, very heavy. Very, very heavy. They are so heavy that your hand is just falling, 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 falling. On the other hand, I'd like you to imagine a helium balloon. And the helium balloon is so big and so strong, it's raising your hand. And I want you just to allow the hand to go up with the helium balloon. Now what I'd like you to do is I'd like to just open your eyes, leave your hands where they are, and I want you to look around the room, and I want you to see where the people's hands are. And you're going to notice how good your ability to fantasize and imagine things, this is what allows hypnosis to work really, really well for folks. It's just one of those things. You can put your hands down now. I just wanted to do that little demo for all of you so that you could understand what was going on. Let's all welcome Joel, my demo subject, who is very brave to come in tonight. And he has an early morning tomorrow, so I'm even doubly thankful for him showing up and doing this for us tonight. And Joel, there was an issue that you wanted to work on, and it might be an issue that other people here might have an issue with. So why don't you share what you'd like to work on tonight?
I think it's an issue many people have at different levels. It's procrastination.
Procrastination. Any of you have that problem? Yeah, well, I thought maybe so. All right, so specifically you said that you wanted to stop putting off tomorrow what you can do today. Was that it? Okay. Now, do you have any understanding why this might be an issue?
Actually, no.
All right, so let's see if we can find out what's going on and see if we can't help him to overcome this. And again, we only have a very short period of time to do this, so we'll see what we can do, all right? All right, so what I want you to do, Joel, is I just want you to look up, eyes up. Only your eyeballs. I want your eyeballs to be looking all the way up. Yep, cool. Now what I want you to do is take a nice deep breath in. We have them take a nice deep breath in to circulate the oxygen in the brain. That causes relaxation. Exhale. Perfect. Do another one. Hold it. Exhale. Great. Go ahead and close your eyes down. It's okay if I touch on your shoulders or rest on your hands. Good enough. Okay. What I want you to do is I just want you to go deeper, 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 relaxed. Deeper, deeper, relaxed. All the way down. Allow yourself to go all the way down to a beautiful trance state. Now what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to go ahead and I'd like you to imagine a spiral staircase. It's beautiful, carved of marble or wood. When you have that in your imagination, please let me know.
Yep.
Great. Now what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to go down the stairs with me, and as we go down the stairs, you're going to stay safe and sound in this chair at all times, doubling your relaxation from head to toe. Clear? Perfect. Here we go. Starting at the top step, to the 9th, to the 8th, to the 7th, to the 6th, to the 5th, deeper, deeper down, feeling totally calm, totally serene, inside and out. That's good. Just relaxed all down. 4, 3, 2, deeper, deeper down. 1, 0. Bring yourself to a beautiful, beautiful place. Wherever that place is, just let me know you're there.
I'm there.
Great. Now you're going to leave that part of your mind over there, and I'm going to work with your other part of your mind over here. Okay? And I'm going to just count you up. Bring in your divine, would you?
Mm-hmm.
Got it? Okay. So at the count of 10, you're going to be there with your divine. Who's going to help you to get the answers you need here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Halfway there. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Doing great. So what I'd like you to do, Joel, now, is I'm going to snap my fingers at the count of 3. When I do so, you're going to go back to the time when you made this decision, because this was a decision you made, all right? So when you made this decision that it was better for you to wait for tomorrow before handling whatever you needed to do today. Is that clear?
Mm-hmm.
Good. 1, 2, 3. Go there now. You're there? Just say you're there.
I think I'm there.
Okay, cool. So I want you to tell me what was the decision that you did make there at that time.
It was more fun to go out and play ball than do work.
More fun to play ball than do work. And how old were you at that time?
Teenager?
Oh, it was a teenager. Okay. What emotions were there for you at the time?
Don't know.
Okay. Now, when you didn't do the thing that you needed to do, I want you to go to that point. Right?
Mm-hmm.
I would like you to tell me what happened there.
Don't know. It was always easy to get past the homework.
It's always easy to get past the homework. So maybe the decision you made was that it was easy to get past the homework, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is what I want you to do. I want you to go, starting from, go right before that time. I want you to notice if there's any time before that time when you were procrastinating, or if that's all cleared up now, if there's anything there.
Prior to that, no.
Prior to that? No? Okay, cool. Now what I want you to do is I want you to come all the way up to now, okay? And what I want you to do is I want you to use the decision that you made, all right? That it was easy for you to do the stuff that you had done, all right? But I want you to understand, as you're getting your learnings on this, because there were ramifications to things that didn't get done that needed to get done, right?
Mm-hmm.
Especially as you got older, right? So what I want you to do is I want you to get some positive learnings. You know what those are, right? Positive learnings are things that are positively learned as a result of the event, right? And I would like you to do that all the way back to now. And when you're done, I want you to just let me know that you're done.
Okay.
Okay, now what I want you to do is I want you to go into the future and I want you to tell me what is your new response to putting stuff off?
To not do it. To do it today instead of tomorrow.
Can you give us an example of why that would be important for you based on what came up as you were going through your timeline?
Well, it's losing business because you don't follow up properly.
Losing business because you don't follow up properly. That's something that you probably can understand, some of you out there who have to do follow-up business, right? All right, so what I want you to do is I want you to go out in the future to a time when you know that it would be really easy for you to play and procrastinate, but you decided not to. And I'd like you to tell us what you did instead.
Just flipped around the day.
And how did you do that?
Do the work first and follow up and do the play later.
And how did that work for you?
It would work a lot better.
Now, this is what I want you to do. I want you to go out in the future, all right, to the next time when you have a lot of appointments that you need to get done, doing your follow-up and all that, and I just want you to just go out there in the future, get that done now. Just let me know when you're done.
Okay.
Is that feeling better for you now?
It's definitely better.
Excellent. I'd like you to lock that in. Good enough. Take a nice deep breath in. Exhale. Now what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to come back to the here and now at the count of 3, okay? Count of 1. I'd like you to thank yourself for coming in and doing this work today. Count of 2, move around. Your hands and your feet as you come back in the room. And at count of 3, wide awake, alert and clear. Wide awake. Excellent. Now, what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to tell the audience, first of all, if you gave any care in the world that they were here. Did it matter?
No.
Can you talk to them a little bit about why it didn't matter what was going on for you?
It was all about me. It was not about who's here or not.
Because all that matters is what's happening between the hypnotist and the subject, all right? That's all I care about. And how did it feel for you to be in a trance state?
It's an interesting state. It's not here and it's not sleeping. It's an interesting middle road.
And when you come out of trance, because he did do a session with me, how do you feel afterwards?
Right. So the full session, which is one of the reasons that I like working with Suzanne, is it's not a 45-minute session. It's really working deep through the issues. It's an experience. It's the ability to make a real change in your personality.
Because we worked together when it was like 2.5 hours.
2.5 hours.
Yeah. So it's not like I go in there and I just quickly in and out. There's processes that need to happen. You need to follow up. You need to hit it from different angles to make sure that the work is done and complete. And in that respect, it works really well because you're making sure that the whole job is done. And you have a good continuity plan because you can stop at a point when the person feels lighter and brighter at the end of the session. How did you feel after that session when we were done with that?
A lot lighter.
Yeah, he actually wrote and thanked me a lot for going up there and doing it, and that things were shifting and changing for him. And that was only one session. But that's the way I do my work.
So what's the balance between learning or really having this type of intuitive being in order to you being able to do what you do?
As a hypnotist?
Yeah.
Great question. I've been through a lot of training. Now, honestly, you can learn how to do hypnosis in 5 minutes. I teach my clients how to do it, all right? The artistry is learning how to apply the right techniques to the right situation with the cases. And when you're dealing with people with high anxiety, you're dealing with people who are traumatized, you're dealing with people with addictions, you need to know what you're doing because they can manipulate things and they can create more problems for themselves if they don't know what they're doing. So bottom line is that it is something that you're trained to do. I do believe that the really good ones are very intuitive in terms of how they go about doing the work, because you want to go with a client where they're going, yes, I have processes, yes, I do have a system. The detailed personal history you all have on your tables is the intake that I do with my clients, all right? And that takes 2.5 hours right there, minimum, to do it well. And if I have an older person with a lot of crisis problems, it will take even longer. I have to give it the time it takes. And with that, I figure out what their general problem is, which is, I have a hole in my soul. You know, I have to go out there shopping. I have to go out there being a workaholic. I have to go out there eating in order to fill that hole. But then I have to figure out all the traumas. I have to figure out all the losses. I have to figure out what all these things are that this person went through, and I have to clear each and every one of them. And then we have to deal with boundary work because people have problems because they don't know how to communicate with other people, especially if they're addicts or eating disorder people, because they stop growing emotionally at the point when the addiction happened. So that's usually teen years. So it is very much an art and a science, both. You can learn techniques, but unless you practice, as my mentor told me, You practice every day, and you practice on everything, including the broom, and you get good at this, and you'll be able to do whatever, and you'll make me proud. And I'm really happy to report that I did make him proud. So it was good. Thank you for the question.
I want to give you one input to the question, and that is Suzanne's intake process really is the big difference, because I've gone to other therapists through a long divorce process, and they never really took the time to get to know you in this process and how that's affecting it. And that intake process really gives her the intuition towards where she's working.
Plus, one more thing though. The other thing too, and this is like really important, compelling future. The reason for someone to get healthy and well is because they have a compelling future that is more important than being ill. And that's on the detailed personal history. And then they have to have an evidence procedure to prove to them that they actually got that. And that's what really makes the work. Thank you so very much.